everybody. Welcome. My name is Griff Hamlin from Blues Guitar Unleashed, and today I have a little kind of chord solo lesson for you, utilizing what are commonly called inversions. We're going to be doing seventh chord inversions. So what you just heard me play was basically running through the 4 inversions of what I call a little seventh chord. Okay, so you might already know a seventh chord. Turn off the overdrive for you, get all the notes. All right, so you might already know this seventh chord, traditional E-shaped bar chord seventh chord. Sometimes I call it the root on the 6th string because the root note's on the 6th string. It's also on the 1st string. Okay, well, I'm gonna play just the top 3 notes of that chord. So my middle finger's on the 4th fret, the B of the 3rd string. My first finger is barred across the D and the G. Now, technically speaking, I am not playing a 7th chord at that point because I'm not playing the flatted 7th. I'm only playing a root and a 3rd and a 5th. Okay, well, let me explain what an inversion is and then we'll get to what I'm doing with it. Okay, so the first thing is that an inversion is when we take a chord. A chord is made of a root, a 3rd, a 5th, and a 7th. Okay, if you look at it on a staff, it kind of stacks up. We're taking the 1st note of the major scale, the 3rd note of the major scale, the 5th note of the major scale. We're taking the 7th note of the major scale and we're lowering it by 1/2 step, 1 fret, and that's called flatting it. So we have a root, 3rd, 5th, and flat 7th. And if you look at it on a staff, it'll just go like a G7 would be, G, B, D, F. They would just line up on a staff, okay? What happens is sometimes we don't play the notes in order. In fact, we rarely play the notes in order like that. So that's called root position. When we have the G, the root, on the bottom. Okay, this all goes from what's on the bottom. If we take the G and we move it up an octave, the lowest note is now the B, and it's B, D, F, G as it stacks up, and that's called first inversion. Okay, if we take the bottom note, the B, move it up an octave, now we have G, B, D, we have the D, the 5th of the chord is at the bottom, and we have what's called second inversion. Okay, move that one to the top, and we now have the F at the bottom, which is F, G, B, D. That's the 7th on the bottom, what we call 3rd inversion. So we have root position, or root inversion, first inversion, second inversion, and 3rd inversion. So there's 4 inversions for a 7th chord, okay? Obviously for a traditional triad that only has 3 notes, you're only going to have root, first, and second inversion. That's the only choices you have, okay? Well, when I take this basic chord shape, and I use just the top 4 strings, notice I have the flat 7 at the bottom. That's the F, 3rd fret on the 4th string. So that makes this 3rd inversion, all right? That's really all you have to know. So that means that from F, I'd go to G. That would be the next inversion. After F would come G. So this is my root position. Okay? Now I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'll show you the whole thing. So my first finger's on the G at the 4th string. My 3rd finger is here at the D on the 7th fret of the 3rd string. My middle finger is on the F, and my pinky's on the B. F is the 6th fret of the 2nd string. B is the 7th fret of the top string. I'm not going to play the whole thing for my lick. I'm only going to play the top 3 strings, but there you go. If I go up to the B for first inversion, I have B at the 9th fret, F at the 10th fret, G at the 8th fret, D at the 10th fret. And finally, second inversion, D at the 12th fret, G at the 12th fret, B at the 12th fret, F at the 13th. Okay, so that's the different inversions. Now, one exercise that I highly recommend you do is to be able to play all of those up and down at 60 beats a minute on a metronome. Just to be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and back down. Okay, because they're great for comping. And if you learn to where you can move them around, you don't have to just keep playing the same chord shape all the time. You have 4 options and they'll all work and they all sound really good, okay? That's kind of a whole different idea, but I just like to throw it out there so you'll, pay attention to what I'm saying. All right, so Now that we've got those different inversions, all I did was turn them into a lick by playing 2 beats of each one. Okay, it's really pretty straightforward. You could do 1 beat of each one, you could do 4 beats of each one. You know, it just depends on what you have available. I was playing a slow blues in G, so I was putting this over bars 3 and 4, where I have 2 bars of G because it was a quick change. So what I did is I had just the low one first, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1, a 2 and a 3 and a 4, and then it's going to be the C chord. So I played a C note, but that was just something to put there. You can put whatever you want. You know, after this, you know, you can rip if that's, you know, if this is like, this is a great thing to put in your second or third chorus because you can really build. You don't have to play it in time. Let me kick my overdrive on again. One kind of cool thing to do here is to just, like, you know, pick it as fast as you can. And then, you know, just like shake that top note. If the band is with you and it's like really powerful, that's a really cool way. And then just, you know, grab that top note. These are the kinds of things that are not really hard to play. I mean, it's not like you're, you know, having to play this huge big flurry of notes, but they sound really big and dramatic. So, you know, as you're, you know, playing this, and then you just like hit that top note, that G, and just shake it really hard and make the face and, you know, do the whole thing. That's going to really come across as very passionate and very exciting, and if the band is with you on that, it really is a very, very cool sound. So that's my lesson for today. I hope you dig it. I hope you have some fun with it, and I will see you soon.